New York City, a sprawling metropolis, a concrete jungle, but beneath its glittering surface, a darker power stirred. The Mafia. And at its pinnacle stood a man who embodied both its allure and its ruthlessness. Carlo Gambino. Gambino's name whispered in hushed tones, feared and respected. He was a phantom, a master manipulator, pulling the strings of the city's underworld. His reign, a testament to cunning, ambition, and the iron law of the Mafia. From the bloody streets of Little Italy to the opulent casinos of Las Vegas, Gambino's influence was absolute. He was the architect of a criminal empire, his word law, his enemies destined for an unmarked grave. This is the story of Carlo Gambino, the rise and fall of a Mafia mastermind, a journey into the heart of organized crime's iron grip on America. Carlo Gambino, born in Sicily 1902, a land of Mafia roots, blood feuds and silent codes, he arrived in America, New York his battleground, joined the Mafia, intelligent, ruthless, loyal, survived Castellamarese War, forged alliances, eliminated rivals, Gambino on the rise, destined to rule. Palermo, Sicily, a land of rugged beauty and ancient traditions, where honor and vengeance intertwined. The Mafia, the Cosa Nostra, held sway. Carlo Gambino was born into this world. In 1902, he entered a family steeped in Mafia tradition. The Gambinos were not peasants. They were men of power, feared and respected. They lived by a strict code: loyalty, omerta, silence. Young Carlo learned these lessons early. He witnessed the family business firsthand. Violence was a currency, blood ties a sacred bond. He was a quiet boy, observant, intelligent, but beneath his calm exterior, ambition burned. He saw the respect his family commanded. He craved the power they wielded. The Mafia was in his blood. It was his birthright. As a teenager, he began running errands for the family. Small jobs at first, delivering messages, collecting debts. But he learned quickly. He proved himself capable and ruthless. He was ready for more. The streets of Palermo became his training ground. The early 1900s. America beckoned. A land of opportunity, even for those fleeing the law. Many Sicilians made the journey, seeking a new life and a chance to rebuild their criminal empires. The Gambinos saw the potential. America was ripe for the picking. New York City, a sprawling metropolis, a melting pot of cultures, and a breeding ground for vice. The perfect place for a young mafioso to make his mark. In 1921, Carlo Gambino, just 19 years old, set sail for America. He traveled under a false name, a stowaway on a ship filled with hopeful immigrants. He arrived in New York Harbor, a city teeming with life and danger. He wasted no time. He connected with relatives already established in New York's underworld, the Castellanos, a powerful mafia clan. They recognized Gambino's potential, his intelligence, his ambition. He was a valuable asset. He was family. Section 3. The Young Don. Gambino started small, working in the shadows, running errands, enforcing debts, but he yearned for more. He craved the respect and power of a made man. He knew he had the ruthlessness to climb the ranks. He caught the eye of Joe Masseria, a powerful mafia boss, one of the most feared men in New York. Masseria saw potential in Gambino. He recognized his intelligence and ambition. He took the young Sicilian under his wing. Gambino thrived under Masseria's tutelage. He learned the intricacies of the city's underworld. He mastered the art of intimidation and violence. He proved himself a loyal and capable soldier. He was rising fast, but New York's underworld was a dangerous game. Rivalries ran deep, betrayals were commonplace, and a bloody gang war was brewing. A war that would test Gambino's loyalty and shape his destiny. Section 1. A City at War, New York City. The late 1920s. The Castellamarese War. A brutal power struggle. Two factions vying for control. Joe Masseria, powerful, old-fashioned. Salvatore Maranzano, ambitious, ruthless. The war raged for 2 years. Charles Lucky Luciano, a rising star. He saw an opportunity. He betrayed his own boss. In 1931, Masseria was gunned down. Luciano proved his ruthlessness. A new era was dawning. Section 2. The Young Lion. With Masseria gone, Maranzano declared himself boss of all bosses. He carved up New York City among 5 mafia families. But Luciano had other plans. He had tasted power. He wouldn't be a puppet. Luciano formed an alliance, a secret pact with other young mafia leaders. They wanted a modern mafia, one that embraced new opportunities, gambling, drugs, labor racketeering. They saw Maranzano as an obstacle. Luciano struck quickly. He had Maranzano assassinated. The reign of the boss of all bosses was over. Luciano had eliminated his rivals. He consolidated his power. He had become the most powerful man in the American mafia. Carlo Gambino watched and learned. He admired Luciano's ruthlessness, his strategic brilliance. He saw the future of the mafia, and he knew he had a role to play, a pivotal role. Section 3. The Commission. Luciano, a visionary, understood the dangers of unchecked ambition. He created the Commission, a council of mafia leaders to maintain order, to prevent all-out war. The 5 families of New York, each with a seat at the table, a delicate balance of power. Gambino, a trusted lieutenant in the newly formed Mangano family, observed it all. He learned the art of negotiation, the importance of alliances. He was a rising star, a shrewd operator. He gained a reputation for his business acumen and his ruthlessness. He expanded his family's influence into construction, unions, and the waterfront. Gambino, always patient, always planning, waited for his moment. He knew that power was not given, it was taken. He bided his time, built his power base, and prepared for his destiny. Section 4. The Shadow Boss. The years passed. The mafia's grip on America tightened. Gambino, ever the strategist, consolidated his power. He cultivated relationships, eliminated his enemies, and became a force to be reckoned with. The boss of the Mangano family, Vincent Mangano, was a liability, hot-tempered and unpredictable. Gambino saw an opportunity. He orchestrated Mangano's disappearance, a bloodless coup. He was now the head of a powerful family. But Gambino was not content with just one family. He craved more power. He set his sights on the Commission. He forged alliances with other powerful bosses and manipulated his rivals. Gambino understood the game. He knew the true power lay in the shadows. He became a master manipulator, a puppet master, pulling the strings of the mafia. He was the shadow boss, and his time was coming. Section 1. The Iron Fist, 1957, a pivotal year. Anastasia, Gambino's boss, lay dead, murdered. Gambino, the architect of his downfall, seized control of the family. The Mangano family was no more. It was now the Gambino family, his family. Gambino ruled with an iron fist. He demanded loyalty and obedience. He rewarded those who served him well and disposed of those who dared to cross him, without mercy. He understood the importance of stability, of maintaining order. He avoided unnecessary wars. He preferred diplomacy, negotiation. He was a master strategist, always thinking several steps ahead. Gambino expanded his empire. He diversified his family's criminal operations, gambling, loan sharking, drug trafficking. He controlled unions and infiltrated legitimate businesses. He became a force to be reckoned with, not just in New York, but across America. Section 2. The Apalachin Fallout, 1957. A gathering of mafia bosses, Apalachin, New York, a show of force, a fatal mistake. The police raided the meeting, many bosses arrested. Gambino, ever cautious, avoided capture. The Apalachin fiasco brought unwanted scrutiny, public outrage, government crackdowns. The mafia, once hidden in the shadows, was thrust into the spotlight, their grip on power threatened. Gambino, a survivor, adapted. He understood the need for discretion. He lowered his profile. He focused on consolidating his power. He rebuilt his empire, stronger than before. He outmaneuvered his rivals. He exploited their weaknesses. He used the law to his advantage. He eliminated his enemies, ruthlessly, efficiently. Gambino was a master of the game, and he was playing for keeps. Section 3. The Teflon Don, the 1960s. The Gambino family flourished. Gambino, a shrewd businessman, amassed a fortune. He invested in legitimate businesses, real estate, construction. He became a respected figure. In some circles, he cultivated an image of respectability, a family man. a philanthropist. He donated to charities, he rubbed shoulders with politicians, he even had his own lawyer on retainer, Roy Cohn, a man with powerful connections. Gambino, despite his growing wealth and influence, never forgot where he came from. He was a man of contradictions, a ruthless killer, a devoted family man. He was a paradox. The authorities tried to bring him down. They investigated his businesses, they raided his associates, but Gambino, like Teflon, seemed untouchable. Charges never stuck. He was always one step ahead. Section 4. A family affair. Gambino, a traditionalist, believed in family. Blood ties were sacred. He brought his relatives into the family business, his nephews, his cousins. He groomed them for power. He arranged strategic marriages, cementing alliances with other powerful families. He built a dynasty, an empire built on blood and loyalty. But family, as Gambino knew, could also be a source of conflict. Rivalries emerged, ambitions clashed, the seeds of betrayal were sown. Gambino, a master manipulator, played his family members against each other. He maintained control. He kept his enemies close. He was the patriarch, the undisputed head of the family, and his word was law. November 1957, a rural estate in Apalachin, New York, a secluded meeting. The nation's most powerful mafia bosses gathered, a who's who of organized crime. They came to discuss their empires, to divide the spoils. Carlo Gambino, a rising star in the underworld, was among them. He understood the importance of this summit, a chance to consolidate his power, to assert his dominance. But danger lurked in the shadows. The police, tipped off, descended upon the estate. Chaos erupted, bosses scattered, fleeing into the surrounding woods, a public spectacle. The mafia's veil of secrecy shattered. Gambino, ever cautious, escaped capture, but the damage was done. The Apalachin raid exposed the mafia's reach and sparked a wave of public outrage. The authorities vowed to crush organized crime. Gambino, a survivor, knew he had to adapt, to rebuild, to stay one step ahead. The Apalachin raid brought unwanted scrutiny. The authorities turned their attention to Gambino. They investigated his businesses, his associates. They wanted to bring him down. Gambino, a master of evasion, seemed untouchable. He had cultivated an image of respectability, a successful businessman, a family man. He had powerful connections, lawyers, politicians. He used the law to his advantage. He exploited loopholes. He intimidated witnesses. He beat charges time and again. He became known as the Teflon Don. Nothing stuck. But his struggles were taking a toll. His health was failing. Heart problems, the constant pressure of evading the law, the threat of violence always looming. Gambino, despite his power, was not invincible. The 1970s. Gambino, his health declining, withdrew further into the shadows. He delegated more responsibility to his trusted lieutenants, but he remained the undisputed boss. His word, law. He faced new challenges, a resurgent FBI, ambitious rivals within his own family. The old order was changing. The mafia was not what it once was. Gambino, a pragmatist, understood the need to adapt, to find new ways to maintain his grip on power. He sought out new alliances. He explored new ventures. He remained a formidable force. But time, the ultimate enemy, was catching up with him. His reign, like all reigns, was coming to an end. The question was not if, but when, and how. The legacy of Carlo Gambino, the Teflon Don, hung in the balance. The end came quietly, not in a hail of bullets, not in a courtroom showdown. Carlo Gambino, the Teflon Don, died in his own bed, a heart attack. October 15, 1976. He was 74 years old. His death, a seismic event in the underworld, sent shockwaves through the mafia. An era had ended. The reign of the last great Don was over. The future of the Gambino family, uncertain. Hundreds attended his funeral, a who's who of organized crime. They came to pay their respects, to mourn the loss of a legend, but also to assess the new landscape, the power vacuum left by Gambino's death. The streets of New York, once under his iron grip, felt different. The balance of power had shifted. New players emerged, ambitious, ruthless, ready to seize control of the empire Gambino had built. Carlo Gambino, A complex figure, a ruthless criminal, a shrewd businessman, a devoted family man. He left an indelible mark on the American mafia, his legacy, a subject of debate. Some argue he was a visionary, a master strategist. He transformed the mafia. He brought order to a chaotic world. He amassed a fortune. He died a free man, a testament to his cunning. Others argue he was a ruthless tyrant, a cold-blooded killer. He presided over an era of violence and corruption. He destroyed lives. He corrupted institutions. He left a stain on American history. Love him or hate him, one thing is certain. Carlo Gambino was a giant of organized crime. His influence undeniable. His story, a cautionary tale. A reminder of the seductive allure and corrosive power of the underworld.